Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. This is the Blessed in Jules Blessed Vegan. So people, I just drove a couple hundred miles. Okay, I wanted to go see some family, and this is the humor that God has with me. So I'm like trying to trust the process, and I just put in the, whatever it's called, GPS, and I'm kind of like going in a direction I'm not familiar with, and then I turned another direction, which put me deeper into the desert, but I'm trying to get down the hill, and I'm like, okay, that's a little weird, but whatever, I'll trust it. Before I know it, I am literally up in the mountains on hairpin turns, which were ridiculous because it was like 45 miles an hour, and the next turn would be 25, and then 15, and then, oh my gosh, for 35 miles. Hairpin turns. The amazing part about it were the views were unreal, and it looked like New Zealand, it looked like Hawaii, like every place I'd ever been, and I had to thank God for that. And at one point, I was so high up, and to the left, I could literally see the skyline of Los Angeles, and I was just like, wow, of downtown LA, oh my gosh, what a view. So finally, I get down to the bottom, and I'm driving on a street finally, but still kind of remote. And then some people start to slow, and I realize a dog's running across, only to see that it was a coyote. This precious coyote. And what was so tragic, because I know, believe me, coyotes steal babies, they kill animals, they take your dog, I get it. But they're also super displaced because there's nowhere for them, right? And so this little guy, because seemingly it looked like a bunch of green and foliage, like where this little kid belongs. But unfortunately, every time he tried to jump in, there was a fence or a wall because it was actually people's yards. And I was just so sorry for him. And I just thought, my gosh, we've just encroached upon all their area. I mean, there's nowhere for him. And the poor little guy finally jumped up like on a wall and found its way wherever he did. And I just thought it's so interesting that God took me that way, right? Then I got to dinner, and if I had the discipline, I could have done everything I could to just make a raw meal, but I didn't because I was exhausted, and they had food which was by all accounts vegan and totally edible, but it did have oil in it, which I generally don't do. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to forgive myself and just try and enjoy this meal and make better choices tomorrow. It's always that good, better, best, and it was certainly good. Tomorrow will be better, and other days will be my best. So that's kind of where I am. But I wanted to give a shout out to God. And I was thinking, two prayers that help me so much. I often say that Serenity prayer. I mean, it really is a short version of the Lord's Prayer, really, because it's surrendering. God, grant me that serenity. I'm asking for peace in my life. I'm asking for serenity to accept what I can't change, no matter how small or whatever it is that's upsetting me in this moment. The courage to change the things I can, which may be simply my mindset, if nothing else, right? And finally, that wisdom to know the difference. Like, what part is it, Lord? What is my part in this situation? And that's where the wisdom comes from, right? So I was thinking of how much I appreciate the Serenity Prayer, and then I thought about the Lord's Prayer and how so many people right now, that's all they have. Everything has been taken from them, right? Right now, in a totally fake war, that unfortunately one arrogant leader made his people participate in. And poor Ukraine and the innocent people in Russia. I'm so sorry. And it's scary because, again, we're only 53 miles away from Russia in that barren strait, right? It's really scary. So I'm praying for them, but some of them in the darkness, in the cold, in the alleyways and gutters and metros and busted churches and hotels and wherever they are, trying to just live and protect themselves for a moment. They have the Lord's Prayer. Like, they have prayer in their heart. Sometimes that's all you have. So I was going to sing the Lord's Prayer with you because sometimes singing, not only is it considered a double prayer, but a lot of times I make jingles and things to help me remember things better. So if you know, sing along with me. Otherwise, let's go through it. So let's see. Our Father, who art in heaven. So of course he's in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Hallowed being holy. Thy kingdom come, which of course we're praying for. Thy will be done. That's surrender in the Serenity prayer, right? Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And of course in heaven, it's a like-minded community because only the people who should be are there. And they're all there for that same mindset. So I welcome that. As it is in heaven, give us this day our daily bread. And of course, it could be literal bread, which everybody needs nourishment, but also the spiritual, right? To be content with the spiritual, whatever our needs are, please meet them. Our daily bread, and forgive us as we forgive others. And of course, that's an ideal. Something to aspire to have the grace to forgive others. And lead us not into temptation, which God has done. He's allowed the devil to mess with people like Job, right? He's even allowed the devil to mess with Jesus after he came out of the 40 days in the desert. He really does put things before us, which we give the devil credit for, but nothing happens without God's permission. So it's really just asking for the strength to bear that cross, right? As we forgive others. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us. But deliver us from all evil, of course. We don't want any evil in our life. Oh my gosh. For the kingdom belongs to you. The power and the glory are yours too. Now and forever, Lord, forevermore. And of course, for as long as we're breathing, right? And then what? Forevermore. I guess, are we done? Maybe. Yes, I think we're done. Anyway, so powerful and so necessary. And when everything's taken from you, you have your faith. You have your heart. You have your prayer. And no one can steal that, right? So shout out to the heavens. All right, my friends, thanks for listening. I'm going to keep working my way home. It's a more than 200-mile day, but I want to check in with my JVV community and just be grateful, be grateful. All right, peace out, y'all. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.